CurveIQ, the new science of genetic testing for scoliosis risk. For most of medical history, idiopathic scoliosis, the puzzling sideways curve that can twist a healthy spine, has been treated like a stubborn knot in a rope. If we pull hard enough with braces, exercises, or surgery, surely the kink will straighten out. Doctors focused on bones and muscles because those were the parts they could see on an X-ray, measure with an angle ruler, or feel with their hands. Yet even the most determined efforts often left families asking the same uneasy question: why did the curve start in the first place? The answer stayed hidden because the real clues were microscopic, tucked deep inside each cell's DNA. Over the last decade, scientists have uncovered small genetic spelling changes, called genetic variants, that quietly raise the odds of getting a curve or speed up how fast it grows. This discovery shifts scoliosis from a problem of structure to a story of biology, opening doors that old-school approaches could never reach. CurveIQ is the result of that breakthrough thinking, and it marks a turning point that feels a lot like switching on a light in a dark room. It can be a cheek swab or saliva collection genetic test built on years of peer-reviewed research that spotlights dozens of variants consistently linked to curve onset and speed. In less time than it takes to lace up sneakers, the test gathers DNA, scans key markers, and generates an easy-to-read report. Moving from a one-size-fits-all mindset to a personalized map changes everything for kids, teens, and adults living with scoliosis risk. For example, two girls might share the same 10-degree curve at age 11, but if one carries variants that slow vitamin D activation, weaken collagen, and heighten estrogen sensitivity, her spine could surge past the surgical mark within a single growth spurt. With CurveIQ, doctors and parents would see that hidden danger early, add targeted supplements, track hormonal shifts, and schedule more frequent imaging to stay ahead of trouble. Meanwhile, the other girl, with a low-risk profile, could avoid unnecessary worry, endless clinic visits, and extra radiation, enjoying an active childhood with confidence. Hope for prevention is only half the story. CurveIQ is equally powerful for adults who already carry moderate or severe curves. Many grown-ups fear that genetics is destiny, but the science of epigenetics, the way environment and choices switch genes on or off, offers reassuring news. Yes, variants may increase baseline risk, but diet, exercise, hormone balance, and stress control can dial that risk down. A 40-year-old with a history of curve progression can use her CurveIQ report as a customized checklist, doubling down on bone-building nutrients, hormone testing, and smart core workouts that match her unique biology rather than following generic advice. The ripple effects of this approach reach beyond individual families. Orthopedic clinics can prioritize appointments by genetic urgency, ensuring that high-risk kids are scanned more often while low-risk kids avoid unnecessary radiation. Insurance providers can back early interventions that cost a fraction of late-stage surgeries. Even schools may adopt small posture breaks or desk-based stretches for children flagged at moderate risk, turning everyday classrooms into quiet allies in curve control. Critics sometimes argue that genetic insight might cause worry, but experience shows that clear, actionable information lowers anxiety. When parents see tangible steps, like adding magnesium for bone matrix genes, adjusting sleep routines to steady growth hormone genes, or practicing balance drills that rewire proprioception pathways, they feel empowered. Kids respond too. Many say the test makes the journey feel like a science project rather than a medical crisis. They can track their own progress, celebrate gains, and understand setbacks without blame or fear. CurveIQ's story is still young, yet its promise is already reshaping conversations in exam rooms across the globe. By fusing decades of bone and muscle wisdom with cutting-edge genetics, the test turns a once intimidating diagnosis into a solvable problem with a timeline, a strategy, and measurable checkpoints. It reminds us that while our DNA sets a starting line, human creativity, community support, and evidence-based care decide where the finish line ends. In short, idiopathic scoliosis is no longer just a bone problem. It is a genetic puzzle that we now have the tools to solve. With each mouth swab or saliva sample, a new generation steps closer to a future where curves are predicted, prevented, and personally managed before they ever threaten the rhythm of daily life.